Hi guys, Corporal6 here, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the P90. This weapon is only found in airdrops and the newly added high loot zone, and one thing to immediately note is that this weapon isn't particularly common even in those airdrops, at least the ones I've been getting. Of all the airdrops I've had since I've been noting down the details, the P90 has only appeared about 15% of the time, so definitely uncommon and possibly even rare in the grand scheme of things. This leads to the immediate assumption that it must be better than the other SMGs, but let's not assume and let's put it to the test. If you've not seen my earlier videos on the world spawn SMGs, please do go and watch them, links in the description. If you've already seen these, you'll know that we have the stats of all the other weapons and their recoil patterns to compare with, so let's get into it. Given that the P90 can only take muzzle attachments, here's a quick breakdown between the flash hider and the compensator before we head into the tests. The SMG compensator offers a reduction in horizontal recoil by 20% and vertical recoil by 25%. It also reduces bullet spread by 10%. The SMG flash hider offers a reduction in horizontal recoil by 10% and vertical recoil by 10%. It does not reduce bullet spread, but does reduce muzzle flash to offer more concealment when firing from a covered position. Clearly, the trade-off between them is the recoil versus visibility of your shots. Personally, given the short range of the SMG, there's often very little advantage to using a flash hider, as your enemy will already be aware of your position. Looking at the weapon itself, the P90 has a rate of fire of 900 and a damage per second of 495, with bullet damage against a level 1 vest of 19.8, meaning you'd need 6 body hits to take down your target. If you compare that against the other SMGs, you'll notice it's not much different to the Vector and Scorpion, which is a bit concerning as you'd expect it to be considerably better coming from an airdrop. So that must mean it handles better, right? Let's find out. Whoa, okay. Bit of an issue immediately is that a full magazine of 50 rounds is basically untestable. Let's limit it to 30, and that will also help us compare with the other SMGs directly. Well, that's an interesting mix. Looks like very low horizontal recoil versus a significant amount of vertical recoil. Let's get it mapped against the other SMGs and see how it compares. Okay, so exactly as predicted, it's got very little horizontal recoil even without the ability to use a triangular grip. But look at that vertical recoil, and that's only 30 rounds from the possible 50 round mag. I'm confused about this weapon, to be quite honest. It's a drop or high loot zone only weapon, not a world spawn, so we'd expect it to have a significant strength. That appears to be the low horizontal recoil and the larger capacity mag. But then to have that massive difference in vertical recoil is such a hindrance, it's even worse than the base MP5. Okay, so let's look at this objectively and try to draw a conclusion. Horizontal recoil is the bane of all players. You can't control it via mouse movement, and so you're limited to short bursts when shooting to reduce the effect. Vertical recoil is, with practice, very controllable, and as you can see from the traces for each weapon's individual trace, they all end up at more or less the same vertical height. That means you can effectively counter it with the vertical mouse movement that you can learn per weapon. The P90 also appears to have the best performance without attachments, and improves on that once a flash hider or compensator is added. If I assume that you're going to be familiar enough with the weapon to counter the vertical recoil, it still unfortunately has two major limitations. The first of these should be obvious to everyone. It's the limited availability of ammunition. The second is the overall lower DPS, which we wouldn't have known until we looked at the stats. With it being the same damage as a Vector against an L1 vest, and all armour for that matter, the difference of over 100 DPS total is too large to ignore for close range firefights where, let's face it, if you haven't downed your enemy with a single mag, then there are probably other issues at play in terms of positioning or cover. Conclusion time, I guess. Would I pick up the P90 if I spawned in a high loot zone? Yes. Would I swap it with another SMG if I looted it in an airdrop? Probably not. A Scorpion or a Vector with attachments will be equal in terms of horizontal recoil, better for vertical, have a higher DPS and have much more available ammunition. If you watched the last video, this means that the Scorpion still retains, for now at least, the crown of being the best SMG to use. I'm actually a bit disappointed with the P90. If we could get it using 9mm instead of 5.7mm ammo, then I think it could give it a fighting chance, but for now, I'm just not going to be dropping the Scorpion to pick one up. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. In the next video, we'll be looking at assault rifles, and do let me know if there's anything specific you're looking for in terms of analysis. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.